Welcome, my friends, my family, my followers, my subscribers. I welcome all of you, and even those just passing by to take a quick look and a quick listen to this video. I personally have been a follower of LeBron James from Cleveland to Miami, back to Cleveland, and to the Lakers. So I just want to share a few thoughts in regards to LeBron James. You know, a lot of people talk about, he's the one who started, making the big three and all this other stuff, as if he was creating an unfair advantage. Of course, it was a means to improve their competitive ability. But if anyone actually followed LeBron James and looked at the games that he was playing, it wasn't easy. It wasn't like people think it was. It wasn't like when KD joined the force that was somewhat already appearing to be undefeatable. Because the Golden State Warriors, everyone knows that when KD joined the Golden State Warriors, they already had the best record in the NBA the previous year. Now, just because they lost to the Cavaliers, that didn't really diminish their greatness. In order to lose that finals that they lost against the Cavaliers, everything that could go wrong had to go wrong. It was like a miracle that the Cavaliers actually won that year. They were already down 3-1. Everyone knows that. If they would have came back with the same squad, chances are they would have won again. I mean, they won the first time and then lost against the Cavaliers. And then they probably would have won again. It would have been a battle going back and forth, like as we remember with the Boston Celtics and the Lakers going every year, and one year one would win and the other year. So it would have been like that great rivalry throughout the years. But no, when they went and got KD, it tipped the scale because they were already had the upper hand. If they went up 3-1, had the best record in the NBA, and found a way to lose, it was more of them finding a way to lose and everything going wrong for them and everything going right for the Cavaliers in order for that finals to be won by the Cavaliers. So when they added KD, it wasn't that they were struggling to win another title. It was almost like handing them another title. But with the Miami Heat, they struggled. They struggled to win. If anyone followed their series, and if you realize before LeBron went to Miami, Miami didn't even sniff a finals. They didn't even get a chance to get to a finals. So when LeBron James came, that made a difference. So it wasn't like he joined a team that was already a super team or joined a team that was already a winner, a champion. No, it wasn't like that at all. So people trying to compare and make similarities between how LeBron comprised and orchestrated and organized to create the big three in Miami to the Golden State Warriors with KD joining them, it's not the same. It wasn't the same whatsoever. All right? So KD, if he really wanted to be competitive, he would have went to a team that was near getting to the finals and joined them. That at least would show that his addition made a difference. And he was already on the Thunder, where they already went up 3-1 on the Golden State Warriors and then found a way to lose. So if anything, he should have stayed there and said, okay, let's figure out how to get this right the next year. But instead, he was already making his plans to go out the door. So that was not fair to the fans. Yeah, it got him 2 rings. Great, fantastic. But now that he's with the Nets, yes, that's a better situation. Now he can prove himself, and he can achieve anything there that people would credit him with. Okay, so back to LeBron James. So when he went to Miami, it wasn't easy. And when he went back to the Cavaliers, it wasn't easy. And now that he's with the Lakers, it's not easy. This man is struggling to get his rings, to get to win the finals. This man is struggling to get into the playoffs. It wasn't easy. It wasn't handed to him on a platter, on a silver platter. And then Kawhi messed them up. They were trying to prepare to create a team that was very competitive, and while they're waiting on Kawhi to make his decision, when he simply could have said, I'm not going there. He already knew that he wasn't going there. So why keep them waiting so that they lose out on the free agents and whoever else was available? Just tell them you're not going there. Just tell them that, so they can go ahead and make their moves. But no, he wanted to tilt the scales in his favor. So when they lose out, and then he orchestrates his moves to get Paul George over with him, then he will have the advantage, right? Because already the Clippers were big enough to give the Golden State Warriors a run for their money. So now Kawhi goes and joins them. That already tips the scale. And he orchestrates to get Paul George, putting them as a forerunner. And then demolishing the Thunder to where they can no longer compete successfully. So that's why, it was all of a sudden like, I'm out of here. Who's going to stay with the Thunder if they were already struggling to get to the finals? It didn't make sense. So they destroyed, Kawhi destroyed many teams in this process to get over to the Clippers. Leaving Canada, right? The Raptors. I mean, they're still competitive, okay? But still, after helping them to get a championship, they thought they would keep their champion. Okay, so they settled for they got 1 championship. But he left from them. That affected the Raptors. He pulled Paul George from the Thunder. That affected the Thunder. He made the Lakers wait. That affected the Lakers. All of that in his path to tilt the scales in his favor once he was on the Clippers. Come on. That was some slick, sly, slither moves. So we're seeing this type of stuff. So if LeBron James can overcome all of these obstacles and actually get a ring, another championship, you got to give the man credit. And now in this new bubble, this new situation, where there are restricted movements for all of that time in the playoffs, the way that's going to run in the few games before the playoffs. And not only that, losing key players, losing starters. The Lakers, if they win this one, you better give LeBron James his props. Because it was already difficult doing what they did. And people were saying LeBron James is going to tire himself out. He shouldn't work so hard in the early part of the season. You never know what's coming. So he did right. And then he got his rest. All right? So now losing A.V. Bradley, one of the starters, one of the most defensive players on the team, now he has to overcome another obstacle. And then getting JR. Remember the movie Who Shot JR, if anyone's old enough to remember that? We went through watching the Cavaliers wondering who shot JR when he just disappeared, not being able to hit a shot. And then we went crazy, went berserk when he caught the rebound when the score was tied with Golden State Warriors in Game 1 and ran away from the basket. instead of catching the ball and putting it back up and giving them the game one, giving them the momentum to maybe steal a game two and then go home again and play to protect their home court, they might have pulled that one off. So I hope JR feels like he has something to prove so he can clear his name and prove that he's a valuable asset and make up for that big blunder that he made. I don't know, was he drunk at the time or not? But this was crazy. I before was saying I never want to see JR again on a team with LeBron. I said maybe the Golden State Warriors is, paying JR to go try to get with the Lakers to prevent them from winning a title. And then you might even joke and say, okay, maybe the Clippers orchestrated this. But I just hope that JR proves his worth. There are many people like Dwight Howard who had something to prove, and he proved it. I hope JR does the same thing. I really do. And we know that there are other players who got a chance to come back and prove themselves. And they have the motivation because they have something to prove. But people, even though they're free to choose as they like, and they feel like everything is going on with Black Lives Matter and the killing of black people, the injustice, that they can't play basketball at this time, and they need to get out there in the streets and support our cause for justice. All well and good, but everyone has a role to play. Because don't you realize that playing basketball gets viewers? Even if it's not the black viewers, it's going to get the white viewers. And most likely it's going to get all of the viewers, black and white. But it gives you a platform for speaking. It gives you a platform to be heard. So it's not just playing a game. People need to realize that. Playing in the NBA is not just playing a game, but you get a voice. Why do you think LeBron James has such a strong voice? Why do you think what he says and does matters to people? So if he gets out there in the street, do you think he's going to get heard as much as if he played basketball? It's not going to be over after basketball is over. Our problem is a long-standing problem that's going to take time and strategy. You don't just break something up and then get results. You've got to have a calculated plan. So everyone is dealing with it in their area. So if you're in basketball, deal with it in your area in basketball. And when basketball is over, you can get out in the streets. Don't think this will be over when basketball is over. So give the fans what they paid you for, in the basketball management what they pay you for, because fans are paying to watch on TV, or they're paying to go to games like they were before. In other words, you're getting paid. So do what you're being paid for and use it to your advantage. Now, if you choose to do otherwise, I definitely support you. But I'm just saying there's also a benefit in playing and praying and opening your mouth on national TV while they're televising your games, speaking out. You have a platform. But outside of basketball, they can choose to air or not air, or paint the picture that they want to paint. Also, one thing that I'm sad about, now, basketball players are making millions of dollars. If I was making millions of dollars, I wouldn't just, use that so I can get more cars and more houses and this and that. But if we united together, all black basketball players, and then even if white people want to contribute, fine. There's no discrimination. But the responsibility towards one's family first falls on you. If anyone else wants to assist you, all well and good. But the responsibility, just because we have a darker skin color doesn't mean we need to deny that we're family. It's all about family. Even if we have a light-skinned member or someone who looks white, we're trying to take care of our families first. And if we can help the world, we help the world. But someone who's suffering and can't help himself can't help anyone else. So that's what it's about. It's about do for self. It's about help yourself before you can help others. What does a bum look like sitting on the street trying to help someone to become wealthy? If he became wealthy, he can help the poor. And that's the whole principle. So let us work in our areas and work together. Just because you're working in a different area doesn't mean you can't work together. If someone is working in business, someone in politics, someone in basketball, someone in the media, everyone in their area working together for a common goal. That's the way it should be. Using our money to build an infrastructure, to build neighborhoods, to open banks. The whole nine. It shouldn't be limited to one area or another. Controlling the media for ourselves. Having our own channel. This is how we should be thinking. Control every area of our lives. Then we can dictate how our lives go. Then we can dictate what happens to us and what doesn't happen to us. So, in any area where you don't control that, you're always going to get the bottom end of the stick, the short end of the stick. Just like before when they were boycotting the buses. Back, of course, everyone knows reading about the 60s and 70s. Well, when we protested, our people, and boycotted the buses almost went out of business overnight. So they said, okay, black people can sit wherever they want to sit on the bus. If we realized our power then, we would have opened our own bus company and not said, okay, thanks, we can sit wherever we want to sit now. That shouldn't have been the goal. Once we realize how much power we have, then we can use it in a constructive way to achieve our goals. And that's what we're missing. Knowing our power first, and then coming together and using our power to achieve our goals in a constructive, beneficial way. We should be opening our own banks, our own stores, our own neighborhoods, our own housing, creating our own jobs, creating our own media, having our own channels, having our own NBA. I mean, it can go there. I mean, just like, the Big Three was created, right? That's just one example. We can compete with, as opposed to being the one with the hand out, begging. So we have to start making our changes, starting from the ground up. All right? Any plant, any seed you put in the ground grows from the bottom up, not from the top down. So we need to stop reaching up and begging for help and look under our feet and stand up. All right, have a good day, and thanks for watching. Now, like I said, I'm hopeful that LeBron James will get another title. I really do. Because also, remember, LeBron James is one of the few athletes that gives back. He didn't forget where he came from. And that's very valuable. We should support those types of people. All right? Enjoy your day. Keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like and tell other people about the videos. We should support one another so we can grow together and become unstoppable. All right? It's possible. Don't think it's not. We can do it. But it starts with belief followed by action.